Let's begin in schools, where 24 students in Nyanza have been arrested in connection with the incidents of school unrest, and another 10 are waiting to face charges in the county of Meru. 8 students from Kisii High School were arrested Tuesday in yet another arson incident in the school Monday night. And KTN News reporter Caroline B. begins our broadcast tonight.
Kisii High School was the latest case of school unrest as the students torched a dormitory on Tuesday at around 8 p.m. when evening preps were still going on. The arson has now been linked to 8 students who were caught in full glare of CCTV cameras installed in the school 1 week ago to boost security. Following the rise in school unrest, the students were captured on CCTV, leaving the dormitory moments after the fire engulfed the boarding facility. The 8 students were immediately arrested after the incident, with the detectives carrying out further investigations to verify the cause of the fire. The students are being held at the Kisii Central Police Station and are expected to be arraigned in court. Students claim they are not given time for entertainment after a new principal set foot in the school in 2017.
By the time students either demonstrate or ban, then it means there must have been simmering tension over time. And the ministry and TSC and government should stop blaming exams. These students will eventually take exams.
So far, 24 students have been arrested in Western Kenya pending investigations in connection with the school rampage. The Kenya National Union of Teachers, NAT, has condemned the arson cases and attributed them to delocalization of school heads.
We must teach our children life skills and discipline elements in their lives, for good values.
The localization of heads of schools. It is one policy that was wrongly conceived.
Meanwhile, Kisumu Girls High School is scheduled to reopen next week after a stalemate ensued over the 9 million shillings fine to be paid by parents for the destruction of property. Each parent is required to pay 5,000 shillings. The over 1,000 students were expected to report Tuesday. And in Meru County, 20 students are facing court charges over unrest. About 10 schools have reported arson cases. 357 principals and county education stakeholders resolved to beef up security with strict screening of students reporting in schools after a meeting.
The dialogue issue in our schools is also wanting because the students may raise something, but we are not listening.
So it is your own role as the boss of your school to have your own intelligence service.
The parents are taking responsibility to make sure that those schools are rebuilt.
A list provided by the Kenya National Union of Teachers indicates that 34 schools countrywide have experienced unrest since May, with the majority citing delocalization of school heads. The Ministry of Education maintains that the government will not cater for the reconstruction of the destroyed property. Caroline B., KTN News.
So as we have been reporting, the government has been cranking up the pressure on the schools. The CS for Education, Amina Mohammed, saying that the government will not foot the bill for reconstruction in those damages. That is the basis of our big question. Tonight we are asking you, should parents bear the burden of paying for the destroyed school property? Please tell us what you think. Text us your opinion to 22155. Tweet us at Ben_Kitili, at KTN News, at KTN Kenya. The hashtag to use in this conversation is KTN Prime. I shall be sampling some of your views live. Now, fresh twists are emerging in the Moi Girls School Nairobi defilement saga that forced the dismissal of the school principal and the sacking of matrons. The Directorate of Criminal Investigations has released a preliminary report that shows that all the 107 DNA samples collected from male staff turned negative, with claims of lesbianism now taking center stage. KTN News investigative reporter Francis Ntomwa now reports hot on the heels of a similar probe by the Kenya Union of Post-Primary Education Teachers, KUPPET, that also failed to place a man at the scene of the alleged rape.
Moi Girls Nairobi grabbed the nation's attention 2nd of June 2018. News that rapists had stormed one of the 4 hostels at the institution and descended on one of the girls sparked anger. What then followed were demonstrations and more demonstrations. An order by DCI Kilimani compelled every male teacher, worker, husband, and sons of the entire staff undergo a DNA test. A month later, a report by the Directorate of Criminal Investigation is out. The DCI statement reads in part, and I quote, "DNA results on all the 107 samples that were picked for test and analysis after the Moi Girls defilement saga turned negative. Preliminary findings are unable to point a finger to any of those tested." End of quote.
It was very unfortunate that over 100 people, 100 male, including husbands of teachers who are female in that school, their sons, male teachers, support staff, to be subjected to such kind of exercise. What should have been done? These girls who are propagating some narrative, to identify the person similar to the person they were describing.
At the height of the uproar, 3 medical examinations were conducted. At the Nairobi Women's Hospital, the test was negative. At the Kenyatta National Hospital, a similar outcome was recorded. It is only one test by a gynecologist that indicated possible penetration.
Nil likelihood, zero likelihood that rape took place. Our very strong conclusion was anything that may have happened to that child, should there have been any penetration, it may have been caused by a girl with whom they slept on the same bed. And the girl also wrote a report. This girl was from a separate dormitory, and they are not allowed to share bed.
How a rapist will make his way past the school security network complete with CCTV cameras is something that is leaving detectives struggling to understand. The school located in Kibra has a student population of 1,190. Elgon Hostels, where the rapist claimed to have happened, is situated next to the matron's house, not far from the principal's main residence. Some 5 guards from the Lavington Security Company man the school every night. Even as detectives say their investigations are still underway, pressure is mounting on school authorities to reinstate all those sacked following the claims, including the school's matrons. Francis Ontomwa, KTN News, Nairobi.
Some politics now, and the Court of Appeal has reversed a High Court decision to nullify the election of Nandi Hills MP Alfred Keter. A 3-judge bench comprising of Justices Erastus Githinji, Hannah Okwengu and Jamila Mohammed saved the firebrand MP a by-election that would have seen the second-term lawmaker battle to retain his seat. Elvis Kosgei reports from the North Rift.
In their verdict, the appellate court observed that the evidence relied on the High Court to nullify the election results was based on evidence that was not factual, citing several instances where the court ignored key provision of the election laws.
That the appellant Alfred Kipto Kitar was validly elected as a...
Judges held that the alleged campaigns by Keter could not affect the overall results.
The declaration by second respondent that the appellant was validly elected is upheld. Dated this 11th of July 2018.
The announcement saw Keter supporters who had jammed the court burst into songs and dance. The MP was accompanied by Moiben Member of Parliament Silas Tiren and his Emurua Dikir counterpart Joanna Ngeno claimed that there were some powerful individuals in the Jubilee government who wanted him out of Parliament.
Nataka niwaeleze, Mwenyezi Mungu anatupenda wote. Na unajua kila mwizi ana siku 40. Wale ambao walikuwa wananichochea nisirudi bungeni, Waswahili wanasema siku ya kufanyani miti yote uteleza. Mimi hakuna kosa lolote nimefanya. Shida ya Mheshimiwa Keter ni kusema ukweli.
Lakini ameingizwa mpaka petition ikaamushwa mpaka ikasemekana nao utolewa kwa kiti. Na yetu watu ya Nandi Hills walimchagua na wahakikisha haingiwe kwa kiti.
The firebrand lawmaker asked President Uhuru Kenyatta not to relent in his war against corruption.
Na mimi nashukuru Mheshimiwa Rais sababu ameniunga mkono na mimi namuunga mkono tupige vita dhidi ya ufisadi. Kwa sababu mnyonge hakuna siku atapata chake.
Marakwet East Member of Parliament Kangogo Bowen, whose election was also nullified, will know his fate tomorrow when the Court of Appeal delivers the ruling in Eldoret. Elvis Kosgei, KTN News, Uasin Gishu County.
Tonight, the state is defending the Chinese running the standard gauge railway against allegations of discrimination, mistreatment, and what has been termed a lack of handover of skills to locals. Government spokesman Eric Kiraithe says it will take time to train locals to fully take charge of the SGR, and that those dissatisfied with the working conditions should seek alternative employment. KTN News senior reporter Rita Tinina with the details.
One of the government's most treasured projects, the multi-billion shilling standard gauge railway, is now in its second phase from Nairobi to Naivasha, following the completion of the first phase from Mombasa to Nairobi. But just over a year since the Madaraka Express, the SGR's passenger service started operations, several allegations are threatening to taint the image of the project that is the envy of regional neighbors.
All allegations will be judiciously investigated.
Exclusive reports by the Standard revealed allegations ranging from failure to hand over skills to locals. The government insists it will take time to train locals.
Unajua train sio boda boda, where you go down Kirinyaga Road, you train for 2 hours, and the next minute you are out in traffic.
Allegations of discrimination of locals by Chinese have also emerged.
I have even seen reports that they are not allowed into their restaurants. What happens if you go to a Chinese restaurant and you are, basically a mess, and you are served dog?
And such images of wildlife killed on rail tracks paint a picture of inadequate measures to protect wildlife. To the government,
we have a bigger challenge on wildlife killed on our roads. The number far outweigh the few, the 2 or 3 maybe, which have been killed on the railway line.
The government went all out to defend its pet project, even on the gagging of workers from using social media.
Are we gagging the staff so that they don't use social media to discuss the organization? Unfortunately, yes.
With allegations of strict working conditions, Kiraithe had a message to dissatisfied workers.
You need to walk out and sell your services where such limitations do not exist.
Rita Tinina, KTN News.
In an interesting twist, opposition leader Raila Odinga has said that he had an agreement with President Uhuru Kenyatta to exclude Deputy President William Ruto and NASA running mate Kalonzo Musyoka from the initial talks preceding the March 9th handshake. KTN News political affairs reporter Moremi Mwangi is on that bit tonight, and he now reports that Odinga made the statement even as it emerged that the 16-member handshake technical team is yet to make any major headway 2 months on.
US-based law scholar Professor Makau Mutua had just opened this villa in Kitui at a ceremony officiated by Raila Odinga, when the opposition leader for the first time lifted the lead on the secrecy around his March 9th cooperation deal with his 2017 arch-rival President Uhuru Kenyatta.
Akaja akasema basi niko tayari tuongee wawili, mimi siji na Ruto na wewe usikuje na Kalonzo. Usikie hii maneno? Sawa.
All Odinga coalition partners, including his deputy Kalonzo Musyoka, were on the material day said to be out of town, while Deputy President William Ruto is alleged to have only watched the developments through a window from his Harambee House Annex office just across the handshake venue.
We had a discussion about the handshake. Much as I heard the ODM party leader say William Ruto was not in the know, I don't know how he arrived at that, unfortunate for him. But you see, there are decisions that the president can make. It doesn't need I don't supervise the president.
But some 4 months since the ceasefire deal, KTN News has learned that the 16-member technical team, co-picked by Kenyatta and Odinga, is yet to make any major headway despite meeting thrice and holding a 4-day retreat in Naivasha last month. Insiders have blamed the team's slow pace to recent busy schedules of both Kenyatta and Odinga, as the team co-chairs lawyer Paul Mwangi and Ambassador Martin Kimani are as a rule of engagement required to regularly consult with both. Odinga has been away on a series of foreign visits, including his recent talks with Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi, while the president is alleged to be held back by the renewed war on graft and the recently released 2018-2019 financial year's budget. Sources say the team could meet on Friday or Monday next week to finalize discussions on collection of public views, with the options of either asking members of the public to send written memoranda to the Mwangi Kimani-led secretariat, or to draft a timeline for members to tour the country to physically interview Kenyans across the 47 counties. But a key challenge to Kenyatta and Odinga, it appears, is how to tame their allies, as the 2022 politics threaten to dwarf the March 9th handshake. Murimi Mwangi, KTN News, Nairobi.